What's going on, guys? So from the title of the video, it's true. My SIM card is going back in my iPhone 13 Pro. To prove it to you guys, you can see the cell service there on the top left and right. It is in fact on the 13 Pro. If I were to show you my 17 Pro, you'll see that it has SOS, so my SIM card is in the 13 Pro. So for long-time viewers on the channel, it might not be that shocking to you, but for new viewers, you may be asking, what's wrong with the 17 Pro Max? You know what else is shocking? Our sponsor, nobody. So to answer your question directly, nothing is actually wrong with my 17 Pro Max. It's actually the best iPhone ever made. And I know you guys probably hear that from myself and a lot of other reviewers every single year. But even people who aren't tech savvy that I ask them questions about their 17 Pro Max, they always end up saying that this is the best iPhone they've ever used. And it might not be something that you'll realize. It's not because it's the new shiny thing, and it's also not because the honeymoon phase that they're in. It's because the best thing about this phone is the battery life. Truly the best thing about this phone. And for existing iPhone users who say, it's because it's the new iPhone, of course it's going to be the best battery life, or if my battery capacity was on my iPhone XR, it'd be about the same. I'm telling you this as a longtime iPhone user, the 17 Pro Max battery is in a class of its own. And I don't think I can say that for a lot of other iPhones that Apple's ever released. And this is actually a respect comment to Android. At times, it felt like I was using an Android device because the battery life was lasting me more than one day. And that's something only I can get on Android devices, not so much on the iPhone. Other than that, my 13 Pro isn't that far off. And it's a lot closer than you think. You see, I've only personally owned 3 iPhones ever. Obviously, I have phones that I review on this channel, but money that I've spent, that I've put my SIM card in and I intend to use for a long period of time, have only been 3 iPhones ever. The first one was the iPhone 5 in 2012 when the Mayans thought the world was supposed to end, and technically it did because The Dark Knight Rises dropped. From the iPhone 5, I went up to one of the greatest iPhones ever made that I still have to this day, the iPhone 6S with that Touch ID button. Look at that. 3D Touch ID. Very smooth, no lag pretty much, one camera. Like, you guys remember the good, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to go down that memory lane, but the memory lane I will talk about of what happened in 2015 was also one of my favorite albums and TV shows of all time dropped, To Pimp a Butterfly and Mr. Robot. And then finally, the iPhone 13 Pro in 2021 when Beeple sold their 69 million NFT. That was 5 years ago. Well, technically like 4, but basically 5 years. Crazy. NFTs. I used my iPhone 6S for 7 years, and the only reason, and I really do mean the only reasons I upgraded was because the battery life and also this lightning port was busted, and I did not want to invest any more money in replacing the battery, and the port is just really not worth it. Oh, I forgot there was a headphone jack. Anyway, believe it or not, it still works. The iPhone 13 Pro has been an amazing phone and I still love it to this day. And I love it so much that using my 17 Pro Max doesn't feel anything revolutionary from the past 5 years. I mean, looking at my iPhone 13 Pro, I have this spiderweb crack on the back, scratches and dings all over the stainless steel. I have cracks and scratches and chips from my screen protector. And to top it all off, all the essentials of the phone work the same, and viewers of the channel know I have my tiered apps. The first tier are the essential apps and popular apps, think like banking apps, productivity apps, social media apps. Those apps on the 17 Pro Max might feel faster, but if I show you right now, like if I were to just open up, let's just say, I don't know, Gemini. Like it loads up pretty quick. Let's open up Balatro, because that's an app I've been playing a lot. Look at this. It loads up just the same. And obviously Balatro is not like the heaviest game to run. Open up my Lifetime app. Opens up reasonably fast if I go to Safari and I go to look Micron stock price. I was looking that up today. Look at this. Like everything that I need my phone to do, the 13 Pro still does it relatively fast. So the second tier apps, I consider games and first party apps, which I showed you before, Balatro. I spent way too many hours in that game, but I did beat Gold Stake. Shout out to the Flush. Just show you guys a little bit more of a demanding game. Let me go ahead and show you. Let me see if I can open it up at the same time. Let's open up NFL. because this one it's a bit more demanding to open up. So yeah, it definitely opens up faster on the 17 Pro Max. Then we got it here on the 13 Pro. But if I'm riding the bus or if I'm like waiting on something, like that 5 seconds is not a deal breaker for me to drop this phone and buy a new one. If I click start, once I'm in the app itself, it's pretty much the same. So truly not that big of a deal breaker when it comes to stuff like that. Apple Music, the calling app, messaging, all the features are basically the same. And let's be real with ourselves, guys. Outside of banking apps or any app that requires our financial attention, browsing Safari, playing the occasional game here and there, texting and calling, what am I experiencing that is dramatically different from the 17 Pro Max that I can't get on my 13 Pro? Let's find out. First, this one was not that obvious to me until I switched back to my 13 Pro, which I would say is a pretty strong argument, is this dynamic island, which is more useful than you think. Because going back to just the notch on my 13 Pro, it feels like I'm not subscribed to some Apple subscription to activate this black bar, which does add some functionality on these newer iPhones. I think it's the 14 Pro and above. It'll show you things like how long your Uber ride is, how long your flight duration is, your navigation, what music you're playing, if you're recording your screen, that has that notification there, timers, stuff like that. It does have some functionality that I do find useful, but I go back to my 13 Pro and ask myself, I've survived like how many years without that before, and I've gotten around completely fine. Not really a deal breaker. Plus, on my lock screen, if something is that important, my iPhone will display it and I can just click on it, just like the dynamic island, so not that big of a deal. Live activities is something that Apple also brought, which I think is a happy medium between users who don't have dynamic island but still want to show useful information all the time. So it is what it is. There is camera control, which is this button here that I still think a lot of people don't realize. So if you click on this, it actually opens up your camera app. So this alert button, as fun as it is to click it, it feels the same. I mean, functionally, it doesn't feel the same as the button itself. This is more of like a click. To me, it basically serves the same purpose, and I understand that I can make this button more functional, add shortcuts. I even did a video on that, but it's really only used as a fidgeting button, which I use my 13 Pro for. The always on display, I will say I will probably miss that, but I have a privacy screen protector, so even though I don't really need it. Like the moment I look away from my phone, you're not gonna be able to see it anyway. So once my phone is locked, it's locked. Not that big of a deal breaker. I have a watch if I really need to see the time without looking at my phone. So that's also not that big of a deal breaker. There's also Apple Intelligence, which I don't have on my 13 Pro. It's just, the regular Siri. Apple Intelligence, it's good, but apparently it's going to be powered by Gemini, but that also doesn't matter to me because I just have the Gemini app installed and it's basically meeting all my needs since most of my suite is within Google. So like if I were to go here and be like, can you help me teach me how to tie my shoe?
Sure, it's a useful skill.
So that's basically my Siri. Works completely fine. And believe it or not, the only thing that is really resisting me to changing, or I should say, what's making this difficult to go back to is this guy here. Do you see it? It's this, the lightning port. Having laptops that charge through USB-C, having phones that charge through USB-C, having accessories charged through USB-C, having pretty much everything in my life be charged through USB-C. Lightning is inconvenient to deal with. Having an extra cable solely for my phone is an annoyance. It's a first world problem, but just that peace of mind of not having to carry about one cable to charge this phone. There's wireless charging. It's not that effective. Phone gets hotter generally. I just want to charge my phone through the cable and be done with it. Lightning, don't miss it at all. I really don't miss it. But the thing is, when I look in my wallet and I go through asking myself, do I really want to trade my phone? Do I want to go through this whole ordeal of swapping everything over for the price of the 17 Pro Max or even the 17 Pro, even the 17? The straight up answer is no. It's just not worth it because my 13 Pro still functions and gets everything that I need to be gets everything I need done within the day. And to be honest, like I tell people, the honeymoon phase of your new iPhone goes away after a few days when you realize what you really care about is the software. And the software experience that I got on the 17 Pro Max doesn't feel crazy different than my 13 Pro. So that's why I'm going back. And this isn't me knocking Apple at all. This is actually pretty much a huge compliment. The fact that my half a decade iPhone is still able to be considered is a great thing. And I'm sure investors of Apple hate me because I'm not buying the new iPhone every single year, but as you can see, I'm a reviewer, so I have to. But for the average person, right, there's not really a need for them to upgrade every single year because guess what? Their old iPhone still gets updates. All their first tier apps work perfectly fine. The second tier apps give them the same functionality. So why do they need a better phone? I'll tell you. The battery life. Most people care about the battery. And me being on my second battery for this phone, that's all I need to upgrade. That's it. Don't need a new phone. Now, performance is something I didn't mention, and for a good reason. I'm a basic guy when it comes to smartphones. Do my first tier apps load in a reasonable amount of time? Yes. Can I browse the web? Yes. Can I make phone calls and text? Yes. Can I take photos and videos? Yes. So what then do I need more performance for if I can barely tell the difference? And I understand there are videos online with millions of views of people who do these performance speed tests of opening all these apps, closing them, doing all this stuff. But guys, you have to ask yourself this question. Unless you have these phones side by side, you probably wouldn't even notice the difference. Unless it takes me like 10 seconds to open apps or websites suddenly stop working because my phone isn't supported like my iPhone 6S is, it's just not that big of a deal. So I don't need this video to be 10 minutes long. You guys probably understand, and hopefully you feel the same way. If you don't, leave a comment down below. I see articles that people are upgrading their phone every 2 to 3 years, and I'm just in here like, just replace the battery and you'll be fine. And I know some people are going to ask about the whole camera situation. Like, yes, objectively, the 17 Pro Max camera in pretty much all aspects is a superb camera. I'm not taking that away from the 17 Pro Max. But what I want you to understand is I'm not doing anything crazy with this camera other than recording my YouTube videos, which overhead camera is being shot on a 13 Pro. The camera you see right now, shot on a 16 Pro. For personal stuff, I just record in 4K no problem. Selfies still look great. And that's all I really care for my phone. For my personal stuff, I still record in 4K no problem. Selfies look great. And believe it or not, the 13 Pro was the last model before Apple started implementing tons of post-processing stuff. So sometimes I prefer the natural tones that I get off my phone. Let me give you a quick example for tech-savvy people who might relate to the story. So let's say a person stops you and say, hey, can you take a quick photo or video of me? Whenever I pick up the phone, 9 times out of 10, it's just using default settings. 4:3, they don't know they can switch to 16:9. If they want me to do a video, it's still on HD 30. Most people don't even know you can click on that, go to 4K, get higher FPS. You can switch from 4:3 to 16:9. You can do a square. You can up the exposure. You can even switch the lenses instead of manually zooming, which will give you the digital zoom and not look as good. There are things that a lot of people don't realize. They just want the photo and video app, click it, and that's it. If you're not doing all this crazy stuff with portrait, cinematic mode, even using the other shots, why even bother? Because for me personally, I'm kind of one of those people. The only thing I really do is switch from 4:3 to 16:9 and go to HD to 4K. Sometimes I'll mess with the exposure and whatnot, but guess what? In terms of that functionality, 13 Pro, 17 Pro, feels pretty much exactly the same. There's not really a lot of stuff I'm missing out on. I hate night mode, always turn it off when I do. I like to have manual control, still get raw photos. There's not much that I need from the camera on the 17 Pro Max that I truly don't think I can get on the 13 Pro. So in terms of camera, it doesn't really matter to me. If you didn't even understand what I said, you'll probably hold out on your phone for more than 3 years. Good for you. So let me know down in the comments below what iPhone you're on and how long you plan on holding out. Do you upgrade every 2 years or hold on to your phone longer like me? Appreciate every single sub, like, and comment. And as always, guys, much love. I know someone's gonna leave a comment down below saying, hey, that's why your iPhone's cracked, because you always flip it in the air. It actually slid out of my pocket when I got out the car. tragic. As you can see here on the top left and right that I do have self-service, and then on my 13, or I should say my 17 Pro Max, there is no service. It's actually the best iPhone ever made, and I know you guys probably hear that year over year. I sound like a financial person. So to answer you guys directly, there's actually nothing wrong with my 17 Pro Max. It's not because I'm telling you this as a longtime iPhone user and a person who has been using iPhone. Then one of my favorite phones ever that I actually still have to this day